Start recording in 5, 4, 3. Let's try that again with the words. In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to the On Your Left podcast, brought to you by Trails of Mississippi, your ultimate guide to the thrilling world of trail running, hiking, and mountain biking. Join your host, Matt Clem, as we explore breathtaking trails, conquer challenging peaks, and dive into the adventures that await in the great outdoors. Get ready to lace up, gear up, and get inspired. Adventure is just around the corner. On your left.
All right, here we go. It's episode 10. Ladies, I hope y'all are doing well. Daniel, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing well.
We've made 10 episodes. This is
10
episode 10.
episodes.
So
Get out.
were you saying earlier, I listened to you earlier this morning on Clay's show. You were talking about 12 episodes put you in the 1 percentile.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it is good stuff. Recap since last episode. Last episode was extremely powerful. Daniel, I had some people reach out to me that I didn't know listened to the show, and with Zed and Jody.
Yeah.
Jody had messaged, just to recap, we had 3 guys on. We talked about running and recovery. And,
That's who it was. They were on your podcast. I was talking with a new client today, and they were like, we saw Jody Penton on a podcast, and I was like, you sure it wasn't Recovery Lab?
Jody,
It was your podcast.
Jody had a guy from Huntsville reach out to him and wants to start a very similar program.
Wow.
That what Jody's got going on. And then also a buddy of mine that was in my wedding, Brian, he has been so inspired, and he ice baths with Zed.
Yeah.
And he's just, really neat. I didn't for a show that we just kind of threw together, it was a very powerful show. So.
No, what you do matters.
Yeah, I guess it does. A little bit at a time, which is great. In the past, I've talked about my TikTok addiction.
Yeah.
I have one too.
Guilty.
Okay, so I'm so addicted to TikTok, and I'm looking for things to inspire me. There's so many podcasts out there that, especially running podcasts, there's tons of them, which, you can hear interviews with Courtney DeWalter, Cam Haynes, and all that, and just all these professional athletes. And after a while, to me, they all kind of run together. But every now and then I will come across something and I'm like, well, that's different. And so I was watching somehow on my TikTok feed, a lady was, just an average lady. I mean, no offense or anything, just an average person. It was like, I am training. We're on week such and such for my 100-mile run. And I was like, well, okay. And she had an accent, and I was like, I think I know her. And then I started watching, I think a couple of feeds had gone through, and I'm like, damn, I do know her. She runs with Claire Jungling and them.
Yeah.
And so I started following. I'm like, okay. And my wife Brooke accuses me of just being totally clueless. Like, she just tells me all the time, Matt, you're just oblivious to everything going on around you. So, I reach out to Claire and I screenshot a picture of you. By the way, I've got Selena, Daniel, and Deanna Boyles here, which are 2 best friends. And I ran across Selena's TikTok. And so Selena is training for her first 100-miler.
Correct.
And it's going to be the Mamba 100.
It is.
Correct? And that's up in Memphis.
Yes.
Oh, and real quick, ladies, anybody that comments on any of your platforms will be on the right side of your screen up there.
There's more to talk about there, because I didn't know that you guys know my sister as well.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what the hell's going on half the time. So anyway, and then come to find out, I helped Deanna in the woods not too long ago. She had laid out on a trail somewhere. I helped her I didn't know any. I mean, I don't know. Please excuse me. So following your TikTok story, I was like, that's pretty cool. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's something that I'm totally down for.
Yeah.
Just watching the process and the fact that, you know, you've been willing to document it.
Yeah.
Has been neat. So I screenshot your picture and I sent it to Claire. I'm like, do you know her? And she's like, oh yeah, that's Selena. And she also is the race director for the Run the Rainbow.
Right.
And I'm like, well, shit, I didn't know that. I mean, I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
And so I have not run the Rainbow. I have not. How many years?
We'll fix that. So this coming up March would be the 4th year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that's a huge race.
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to talk about that.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
we've got that to talk about, the Run the Rainbow, which is a half marathon. Daniel, a marathon. We're trying to get Daniel to do something other than pot. It's a half marathon. You got a bunch of distances.
We got them all.
And it's at Blairy Batson. It's a fundraiser for Blairy Batson, correct?
Yep. For the only children's hospital in the state of Mississippi. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So not only are you the race director for that,
Right.
you're training for a 100-miler.
Right.
You're a grandmother?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot. You're very accomplished, and then you're running with the Run Strong,
Right.
and then you're friends with my sister Kathy.
Yes.
Which doesn't say a whole lot because she knows everybody. I mean, she's friends with everybody.
Well, you're not wrong. Every time we go to lunch with her or anything, somebody knows her.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
100.
So I reach out. So Claire's like, oh yeah, you know, I'll reach out to Selena. And so I tried calling you. You didn't answer. I think I texted you, didn't respond. So I'm like, well, she's obviously very busy. So I tried again like a week later. And you were like, oh, yeah, you know, we could do that. But if I do that, I have to bring my road dog with me.
Yes.
That's me.
Well, you had actually, so Deanna, you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, well, you referred to her as your Sherpa.
Right.
So... Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done triathlon or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that where that came from? Because when I hear Sherpa, I just think about people who triathlon.
She's done a half Ironman.
Yeah.
You did a half Ironman.
She's got the tattoo to prove it.
I've done the distance twice, but the actual Ironman name once. But she Sherpa'd me, and then anything else that I sign up for that's a distance that she may not be doing.
Yeah.
Then I still it just rolls over into that. She's she'll say she didn't do this, but I swear the reason I even signed up for the 100-miler, I have the receipts. Don't shake your head. For sure. She texted me one night and she said, "This is the 100-miler you can do. Like, you can do this." And so
she's the one just pushing you over the edge.
For sure.
Okay. Well,
100.
look, I think that's something. Okay, so we've got not only you know, grandmother.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting there. I'll be a grandfather probably in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And then with the race, with Run the Rainbow, and then you just got a lot. You also work Blairy Batson, is that correct?
I do. I work at the Children's Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that coupled with training for 100-miler, your best friends, which I think is just so sweet. There's the community, which you guys do for each other. Yeah. You know, there's so many different things we could discuss. I guess probably where we should start is what prompted you to, I guess, get started with the idea of running a 100-miler, and then not only just signing up, but let's go ahead and put it on TikTok. Yeah. You're on TikTok, and I guess you're probably streaming live on Instagram and other stuff too.
I haven't done Instagram yet. I need to, but I do it on Facebook as well. You know, I just try to share it on the formats. I'm older, so I tend to stick to certain formats. But yeah, it was one of those things that every year I set a new goal for myself. And so I had started out this year with my goal of, shout out to Mutz and Kathy and all the people that do our amazing trail runs around here. But I knew I wanted to do and be a big dog this year. And so with that, I was like, okay, I got to get into Frosty 15 and I've got to get into Fondra. And I wanted to make sure that I, lock those two down because sometimes they sell out. And then so once I had that and I knew I was on the trail to getting the big dog, I was like, then she texted me. And so she was like, you could do this. Like, you can do this 100. And they had, a whole bunch of them had gone last year when I was actually at the birth of my grandbaby. And they had completed the Mamba 25K.
I did the 25.
25K. And so we had some other friends that had done it. And she was like, I really, so the first thing I did is I texted my son and daughter-in-law, and I was like, if I sign up for this, can we do the baby's birthday a different weekend?
The baby's first birthday.
So what is your, okay, so you've done a half Ironman.
Yeah.
What's your distance? What are we looking? How big is this? A jump? The 100 milers obviously is a jump, but what's your running background? I guess because people probably want to know.
Yeah, so I've been running since I was like 35. It was one of those things. Like I said, every year, I don't necessarily set like people set New Year's resolutions. I don't do that, but I set goals, or I'll find something. I'll say I've never done X before, and I want to do it. And so that's kind of how I started running. I was like, I've always wanted to say I was a runner, and so that's how it started. And then the journey just kept going from there. And so I did sign up for 100K one time. And it was not that I couldn't complete it, but but it was when we pulled up to this place, I have this deathly fear. I'm just so scared of snakes. I'm like, it's just terrible. And so we pulled up to the place that I was going to do this 100K. And we decided to go just walk it. We had picked up our packets and we're like, let's just go walk it and see, look at the trails. And we're out there doing that. And there are signs everywhere around this. Would you even call it a pond?
I call it like a retention pond.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
It was the Pensacola Equestrian Center. It was a beautiful place,
gorgeous.
but there were 2 retaining ponds.
And there's signs everywhere. It says, beware of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
And I was like, oh, dear God. So we start taking off, and I'm doing great. I mean, just really just having a great time. And then I hear Dina up under the, like where we were all stationed, and I hear her, shh, don't let her hear you say that. Don't let her hear you say that. And I finally, because I'm at this point, I'm like
47
miles in or whatever, And and somebody starts talking about how the snake had wrapped around somebody's leg, and they had never seen so many snakes out there. And I just looked at her. I was like, I'm done.
You're done.
I couldn't do it anymore. I was so scared. And she was like, but you only, I was like, no, I'm done. So it was just, it was crazy.
Like, whatever you do, don't tell her. And so the people that we probably had 20 people there, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, because we'll steal people. Like, oh, you belong to us. Come sit over here with us. Because, they're by themselves.
You're now our friends.
Yeah, you're now our friends.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just don't tell her. Don't say anything. We can get her back out there.
Yeah.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't any of our people. It was somebody like just casually walking by. Mentioned the snake wrapping around somebody's leg.
I was done.
When was this?
Oh, gosh.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in the past year.
Yeah.
No, it was year before last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Brooke, my wife, is so like you talking about snakes. I guarantee you she walked away from the phone.
Yeah. I feel it.
Just now.
I feel that.
She can't.
I
like
feel
we
that.
see it on TV. She'll look the other way kind of thing.
I feel
Any
that.
kind of snake. Okay.
And so I made sure this time when we were going along this route, I was like, oh, I'm definitely signing up for something in colder weather.
Sure.
So,
because there's no snakes at Butts in July in Mississippi.
but there are so many people out there,
There's a lot.
right?
Well, this probably won't help you, but I'm just tell you right now, snakes are way more afraid of you than you are them.
I know
And if
in
they
my head that's
if they
right.
sense
Yeah.
motion on the ground and whatnot,
Yeah.
they're going to get away.
I
So
feel that.
I don't
but
think you have anything to worry about. And
Yeah.
and Butts also too is so wide open
it is.
that it's not like you're
Yeah.
running through brush.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. But,
So
you signed up for the big.
Yeah.
So you did Frosty. You did the 15.
Yeah. Which is not 15, by the way. It's more than that.
Is it?
I fussed. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not really fussed, but it was kind of, I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, where's the turnaround?
And you did 10 laps at Fondren?
Yeah.
I did 10 laps too. Daniel, did I tell you I did 10 laps?
You did 3 times.
Okay.
Oh, he told you 3 times. It's something to be proud of.
Well, that story with that is I had, Helen, Tiffany, and Carol on, and we talked about, and there was like 2 or 3 spots left. and they signed me up while we're in here.
Nice.
And I ended up doing the
it's a hard course. That last hill is just
tough.
brutal.
It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you have made the decision.
Yeah.
So you said, okay, I'm going to sign up. You want to pick a race in colder weather. Deanna just basically talked you into it.
For sure.
And so you guys have made the commitment. You've signed up.
Within minutes. Like literally she sent me the text and said, you could do this. And James Bowler, who runs, the Mamba runs, he's just a fantastic race director. And he had come to Jackson and did the Run the Rainbow and had a booth. And so we had built a relationship, with him through all that. And I sent him a message and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about signing up for this 100-mile where, the one thing you don't ask another runner is, can I do this? Because we're like 100, right? You can do it no matter what. You can do it. And so he was like, come on. And so within minutes, she had texted me, I texted him, and I had literally sent the little confirmation code back to her.
You didn't think she was going to do it?
Well, no, I had already signed up.
What are you running for?
I run the 20. My distance is not what it used to be, so I stick to 25K
this year, and then next year you'll probably. We'll get to that later, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. But
turnaround is fair play for sure.
That's true. Well, yeah. But somebody has to be there. She can't
right.
leave her to run 100 miles by herself. So I'm just doing the 25.
So when is the event?
November 7th, 8th, 9th.
Oh,
I think
so
for the dates.
you're in the okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm there.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
What's your furthest distance thus far has been 47 miles, but that was a year. But you're training right now. You're in the middle of training.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
I encourage everybody to find somebody to. I mean, there are a lot of training guides out there that you can get, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
For me personally, I like having that personal coach that holds me accountable, will text me, oh my gosh, I saw your runs this week. They're incredible. Or, or I can call her and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I, having this issue or having that issue? And for me, it takes that. Having something drop on my Training Peaks that I know that's what I have to do that day is something for me that I need.
So I'm assuming you're using Claire.
I am.
And Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
$59 a month.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Remember that day?
I drive by there every day.
Well, Taylor drives by there every day too.
I'll tell Jeremy, I'll tell him all the time it's $59.99. I'm just kidding. I just tell him all the time that 99 cents is what gets me a lot because I drive him crazy. But it's important to me to have that. Not everybody needs it. Everybody has to do, but they do it to you and your goals. So if you're wanting to, do your PR race or whatever you're wanting to do, we kind of joke around all the time and say we're the mullet crew. We're kind of the party in the back. I'm, if there's 600 people racing, I'm usually right in the middle somewhere. And so they kind of meet you where you are and help you meet those goals. Not everybody has to have that as much as that's just something I require. And then just finding out what it is that your goals are and then how you need to meet them. So for me, I hired a nutritionist this time, a dietitian, that's a running dietitian.
Who is it?
So I actually brought her information with me. So her name's Elizabeth Corville, and she's at Harvest Nutrition.
Okay.
Now, I couldn't find one here. I had a little difficulty with that. So I actually was at a race in Louisiana. We were doing the LSU
the Tiger 10K.
Yeah. And I'm hotty toddy, by the way.
Go Tigers.
I went
8
to support my friends. and so we, as you do as a runner, you're talking to everybody around you. And she was like, oh, I'm a dietitian. And I was like, oh, I'm looking for somebody. And she was like, that's what my best friend does.
And where is she out of?
She's in Louisiana, technically, but she's licensed in all the Southeast states.
Okay.
And so we have a telehealth visit once a week for 45 minutes. I definitely found out I was under eating and not taking in enough nutrition while I was out there. And so I think sometimes, especially as women, we worry about, I don't want to take in so much because weight or whatever. And so I've really focused on just doing the thing to make me successful and not worried about the other. And it's made a huge difference.
You've definitely have got a lot of building blocks. Not only do you have a lot of support, obviously,
for
with
sure.
Deanna, you know, and then Deanna, you're going to be, I guess, Sherpa / crew. Do you have a big crew going? I mean,
yeah, we actually have there's one other person. So Jennifer Cecil's doing the 100 as well. But she's so experienced. Like she's done so many. She's an amazing athlete. There's, I feel like 2 people doing the 100K that are in our circle.
David
Jimmy
Green.
I forgot about the green beans are going. So David Green, Jimmy, and somebody else is doing the 100K too.
Nancy, maybe.
I can't remember.
Are you going to have a pacer?
So you can after so many loops, and so I've asked several people to come and kind of join me on my pace crew, and several people have agreed to do so.
Okay.
And I've had a couple say, "I'll take the ugly shifts," in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I get it. I do think having the accountability of running coach and then obviously nutrition and all of that. You're setting yourself up for success for sure.
Trying.
So you talked about goals. Obviously the goal is to finish, but so I guess you want to run and have a good time and the process and everything. I know myself personally, like the actual race is just a small part of it. I think what you're doing right now with for yourself is you're going to remember that more than probably anything.
Yeah.
And then also too, I will go ahead and give you props. What you're doing, I think, is awesome. That's why you're on this podcast, because I think you putting it out there, it inspires people.
I hope so.
It will.
I think, it's so funny. I was telling Claire this the other day, actually. We were talking about just being weird as women. Sometimes we don't want to share whatever because we're worried about what somebody may think or say or whatever. And I'm kind of in my let them theory. If anybody knows about the Mel Robbins book, they'll know. Let them. And so I'm kind of in that phase where we have a lot to offer, and we've done a lot of races, and we've not always been the most successful at some of them, and then some we have just slammed and did so great. And so, but it's a lot of moving pieces. And, my passion for the running community is, and we say running, but, you can walk it too. Like these people have this mindset, oh, I can never run. But Deanna has walked every race she's ever done, and she's done all the way up to 50Ks.
I've done 5, 6. I lost count.
Yeah.
And so I want people to know that it doesn't matter. Like if you have the passion and the drive, you can do it. Like and I want to encourage people to do so. The community is so amazing. And it doesn't matter if you're one of the the more elite runners that are out front, or you're in middle of the packer, or the mullet crew in the back. It doesn't matter. Whatever distance you're doing, a marathon's a marathon, no matter how long it takes you to get to the finish line, right? And so that's just a huge push for me to let everybody know that you can do this. If you want to, you can do it. And it's just fun. I mean, we have such a good, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. And, I tell everybody, my little thing that I say sometimes is anybody can do a 5K. Anybody can do a 10K. Anybody can do a half. And I do believe that. When you get past that, yes, Daniel. When you get past,
I got him doing it. There it is. There it is.
But when you get past that half, I'm not saying anybody can't do it, but it turns not just to physical, but to mental. Those moments where you're like, it is tough, and there's times where it's just hard. But I remember there are many times where I'm out there and I'm doing hard things, and I'll say, we in our group and our community tend to tell each other, you're just a badass woman. And when we do that, there are tough times that I'm out there and I'm like, wait, Deanna said that I'm badass. I can do this.
And so,
and so sometimes when it gets really, really hard, those confirmations of the people that are in your circle that are willing to say, you know what, you can do this even when it's tough.
She is probably, if it gets in her head, she has the mental part. She really does. So if it's in her head and there's no snakes involved, she can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that matters, just having those people around you, that really, can encourage you and say, you can do whatever you want.
Well, that's the whole spirit of it.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of all the ultra.
Yes.
It's amazing. So when we started Much, we just thought we just wanted to have a group of people to go out on a trail with. We never really anticipated that it would form such a culture.
Yes.
And just a community, because people, we talked about it. I remember Kara talked about just the whole, people want to see humanity.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So we can go through life, right? Cam Haynes talked about this, and I got emotional last episode, because we talked about we can all go through life and we can all kind of lie to ourselves a little bit. We can all kind of act cooler than we really are. We can act smarter than we really are and all that. But when you put in forth the effort to go do something like what you're talking about doing, there's no BS in there.
No.
So you're going to do it, and it's sobering to your, and it makes you kind of face yourself.
Yes.
And it brings out the humanity. And then also too, people rally around that.
Yeah.
So, that was, when I saw it, I'm like, because you scroll TikTok, and I like watching Andy Glaze and all these other people, and they're great, But then again, when you see, there's another guy that I started following, I forget his name, but he's doing the couch to Cocodona.
Oh.
You need to follow that guy on TikTok. Have you seen that dude?
I think so, because I watch
He doesn't look like he's been running at all.
No.
Right.
Like that dude straight up, like he doesn't look like he's ever run.
Yeah. I'll have to
and
check
he's
him out.
doing it.
Yeah.
He's signed up for Cocodona, and he's starting to get mileage. And let me tell you what that guy, now, will he finish? I don't know. But I will say he's
gonna give it everything.
The whole thing is just, it's magical to watch that. So, and I'm not, look, I think you're doing everything that you need to do to complete that race.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got a coach.
Yeah.
You're putting in the work. You got a nutritionist, which really is a big thing.
It really is. Yeah.
It's a big thing. You
It's a
can't
big thing.
look. You can't outrun a bad diet.
No. Yeah. And
You just can't.
No. And so it's going to be real interesting. So when I did Fondren, my last couple of loops, like I could feel it, like just, I guess I always say tapping out, just was feeling like more of a, just instead of it just being hard, if you will, for doing a 50K, like I was feeling just like I didn't have enough in me, And so, and I did that at the 50K Big Butts last year. I finished on both, but it was the last loop or two, like I was really just struggling, And so it's going to be real interesting, because I've got the dietitian working with me, because I'll be doing Big Butts again. So I'm real anxious to see like the difference in taking in the right amount of calories and the right amount of everything that you need to make your body, just a tool, to be able to get out there and finish this. And so I'm excited. My training has definitely been so much better.
Well, maybe this will give you some encouragement. Women generally do really well at longer distances, because a lot of longer distances isn't so much endurance or strength.
Yeah.
A lot of it is problem solving. And as we all know, women are just more apt to being able to problem solve better than men.
Right.
So I think, you with the coaching support, I think you'll be fine if you just stay ahead of things. Now, the race is in November.
Yeah.
The Mamba course, is that on Shelby Farms property?
It is,
that okay?
Yeah.
What is the course description? Is that a loop course?
It's 16 miles, I think, is the loop, if I'm mistaken. I think it's 16.
It's 16 miles.
Okay.
Now,
It's like 6 loops.
6 loops. I did the 25K, which was just the one, or somewhere around there is one loop. But the majority of that was washed out with the floods they just had.
That's right. That's
so they're
right.
trying
They changed it a little.
Yeah, they're
I think.
having to redo some stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if he watched any of that, but James did he had like a 100-mile race going on in the middle of all this, and he just changed and changed and changed, and everybody got to finish the race. But so they'll have to cut some stuff through. But it's a great course. It's the only hills to be like a mountain bike hills, you know. But it rained on me. Everything drained pretty good. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it rooty or rocky or anything. It's fairly flat. So, you know, if anybody wants, it would be a great first trail run. It'd be a great first 100-mile.
A buddy of mine went up there and tried to win it last year, Bob Weinman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your sister's registered with the 50K.
Yeah, today.
Which sister?
Kathy.
Yeah.
Well, I think both of them.
Karen probably.
Karen maybe too, but Kathy got in yesterday.
Karen maybe signed up for the 100K now that I'm thinking about it.
So what is the time cutoff?
34.
Hard if it
hours.
rains.
34 hours for a 100-miler. So if we did the math, you're looking at 20-minute miles roughly.
She said Dina said.
So we're talking about 20-minute miles.
Yeah, that's what I did the math. So I was like, okay, and that's what I need to make sure that I'm averaging. And then I've been listening to a podcast that's kind of given me some little insight because, this would be with this distance, this is new, but I don't know the guy's name who is actually on there. It's terrible, but I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget the name, but it's Choose to Endure. So he's he does a lot of ultras. His longest distance was a 220. Like, I make it sound like that's not something that's incredible. I know, right? Anyway, and but he's a back of the packer, if you will. So he's a slower, and so he gives a lot of insight into things you can do. And one of the things that I've added to my training is he said, do the boring things, so that when you're out there by yourself and you're kind of in that state of mind where you can do the boring. And I'll give you an example. I used to hate to run my neighborhood because it's smaller and I have to do 100 loops, right? It felt like to just get, my 8 or 10 miles or whatever. But a couple of times a week now, that's what I do. Like, I will make myself go run my neighborhood with those same loops over and over again. But it's funny when you change your mindset on something that simple, now it's not annoying to me. And I'm like, it's something that I learned from that podcast, him just talking about that, just doing some of those little things like that, I think changes things. I have not done the middle of the night running yet. I mean, in training.
Have you run overnight? You have not?
Not yet. I mean, I have in a race, but I haven't during my training yet, but I will.
I got you. Okay. So events leading up to it.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap up the 100-mile thing. But events leading up, you're going to do the rest of the Mutts races.
Yeah, so I have Big Butts, and then I have Clear Creek.
Yeah.
Okay.
In between that.
Got anything else
Can't remember. It's terrible.
I don't know, because with her, I sign up for a lot of stuff. And I can get her to do it. Here, I've signed up, you signed up. That's how this happened. I signed up for Mamba. I actually called her last year and said this was a horrible race. I'm never signing up again. And then registration opened, and I was probably the first person to register.
That's how that happens,
That's how we do it,
And then I sent it to her. I'm like, here you go. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Sure.
But with her doing these long distances, it's hard to get, a 5K or a 10K is not part of your training.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
You've got a
to sign up for
20-mile race
smaller.
on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't really have anything specific planned.
No, not yet.
But November will be here pretty quick.
It will. And, in the middle of all that, I have to start planning again for Run the Rainbow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I have to make sure that I don't. And then, too, my poor husband sitting at home like, hello.
Yeah.
Are you ever?
Is he a runner?
No.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Look, it's
no desire. He was Air Force many, long time ago, and he was like, when he got out of the Air Force, that was it, no more. But 2 of my kids are. So my son, who's in the Army, he runs a lot, and he said he wants to put an ultra on his bucket. So I'm excited about that. And my youngest, she's 17, and she'll run with me. She's an incredible athlete, incredible. I say run with me. We are out there at the same time with her running her 6-minute miles.
Sure.
And I'm way back here like, I'll see you back.
Sure. Well, I think it's awesome. I think
I'm excited.
what you're doing is just it's special. And the fact that, and also we're going to talk a little bit about your relationship with Deanna and what you guys, I think that whole, how long have you all known each other?
Oh gosh, 7 years maybe.
And did you guys connect through running?
I stalked her.
She did.
I stalked her. So what happened was if you've never read her Facebook post, go read them. She is one of the best writers comically that I've ever met in my entire life. And so I had joined the Run Strong group, if you will, and started going to some of their events and started going. And she kept posting. She was on their page and she'd post these stories and they were so funny. And I said, she has to be my friend. And so I showed up at an event that I knew she was going to be at. And we ran together that night and that was it. We literally decided we were going to we started talking about an Ironman that night, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
So you talked her into doing an Ironman.
Yeah. I signed up, but I didn't do it.
So she's
your
not
sister
only
signed
just,
up.
so she's she's a smart ass.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love a smart ass.
And so that literally is how our friendship started.
Okay.
And then it just, I don't know. You would just, our road trips are hilarious. If you ever go on one, you'll never be the same. And then even just everybody laughs because we'll do silly stuff. Like if we're out there training and I'm hungry, I'll be like, I am starving. And we will stop somewhere and eat breakfast and then finish running.
Yeah.
I have done that.
I saw the other day where you just
Countless.
stopped and got a bag of chips and a Diet Coke.
Yes. I was hungry.
How many people do that in the middle of a train run?
I was starving.
But there's nothing wrong with
I was
that.
hungry.
I mean,
And so one of our good friends, it was funny. I was having to do part of our route one day, just checking some stuff out. And so the only person that could join me that day was Michelle Dickerson. Thank you. And so we're out there running, and we had ran backwards, and so we ended up at Hallamals, in between Hallamals and Martin's. And I was like, man, I'm hungry. And she was like, me too. I was like, well, here, let's go into Martin's and have some lunch, and we'll finish up our last few miles. She was so excited that she got to do one of these in the middle of our workout lunches because she was like, my sister's already got to do that with you, but I've never been able to. And so I can't tell you how many times we've done stuff like that. And just making it fun, if it's not fun, don't do it. Yeah. But we just have a blast,
If God didn't want us to stop and eat, he wouldn't have put a restaurant on our path.
On your
exactly.
Training, yeah.
Yes.
We were out running one time. I think it was when Jimmy Giles and them were training for his 100.
They stop and get a biscuit.
He stopped and he was eating biscuits.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, is that 471?
471.
Yeah, man, got it. Yes.
Did you not get a
I
biscuit?
had shit all over myself. I was out there. Excuse my language, but I'm getting older. My digestive system, I don't know, can only handle so much.
We know where all the restrooms are.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
we
if
know
you've
that
got
too.
that mapped
They have
out,
one
then
right.
you're fine.
Right.
Yeah. They'll let you use the restroom.
Well,
Yeah. I know.
So Deanna, so you're at this point until next year when the roles are reversed
Yeah.
and she starts goading you into doing some crazy stuff. So you've just basically you've been kind of a mid to backpacker, just kind of doing a lot of these events, and just really it's more about the camaraderie. You don't have any goals yourself right now other than just maintaining some decent fitness. And
Yeah. I got 2 torn meniscus. So that kind of that's a little bit of a
that can
Yeah.
that factor.
hinders
That's a
a
factor.
little bit.
Yeah.
You got bad knees.
Yeah.
I got bad knees, but the doctor's like, it's gonna hurt whether you do something or
Uh-huh.
not.
Right.
And then I've gained a lot of weight, so I got to get that off. That could probably what I probably need to put out there in the megaverse. Is that what it's called?
Mega first.
Or I made that one up. But yeah, I'm just like I did race walking, so I could do a really good 5K race walk, 10K race walk.
Sure.
But everything else, I was probably mid to back packer. And I still loved it. It's great. You get to, you see more. The slower you go, the more you see.
We always laugh when we get to the finish line and we've, done the race. And sometimes I'll race for fun. And so we'll all stay together as a good time. LSU Tiger 10K, had a blast. And then at some races, if I know I'm wanting to race. So I'll be like, okay, I'll meet you at the finish line, right? And so what's so funny is we'll get there. And if I'm racing, she'll go, did you see the this? Did you see that? Did you see? And I'm like, no, because, you know, you get your blinders on and you're like, I just want to finish, or I'm trying to beat whatever. And she'll be like, man, you missed the lipstick to put on at Little Rock, or I missed the, I don't know, it could be pizza or whatever.
What do they say? Sometimes you got to slow down to smell the roses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I see everything.
Well, on the trail, too, it's just so much nicer, too.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have to go slower on that trail, or you're, you know, face plant.
That's me.
And me too.
That's me.
It's not a trail run if I don't fall.
Yeah,
at least
I'm
once.
extremely clumsy.
Yeah, same.
Our first trail run, she fell, and as she was falling, she yelled, "Save yourselves!" And then we left her.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was more like, I'm down.
Yeah, we had a Boy Scout camp.
So, Mamba 100, you're in it.
Yeah.
You're going for
I'm
it.
down.
I'm super excited
ready.
to follow that.
Yeah.
Deanna's going to do the 25K.
Yeah.
And then when does it open back up for next year?
I think it opened about 2 weeks after.
Okay, so then we're circling that date for
Circling back
Deanna,
around.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Have you ever aspired to do anything like really long like that?
If I had the time,
Yeah.
maybe. You know, if I could find one.
What is she doing over there?
No, I meant like,
That's
I
not
don't
an
know if I could
excuse.
do one I don't know if I could do one in the 32 hours. If I could find one that was a little bit longer.
34 hours. Don't cut me off.
Yeah.
34 hours. If I could find one that was a little bit longer, maybe, you know. I mean, we did have one time. They quit doing it. That was pretty long that we could have probably done.
I think David Tosh, he gives a lot of time. Like
Yeah.
Lake Martin, I think. He's just like, well, you know, if you finish it, you finish it. But,
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's, I think,
Google.
Yeah.
You Google,
Right.
what's the longest 100-miler?
Yeah.
Lake Martin.
Well,
Lake Martin 100.
I think if you can, you know, have the time to be able to, you know, do it.
No, I think it's not just necessarily 100 miles. It's just about pushing yourself to the level of being uncomfortable, setting like little mini goals as you go along.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about earlier, you know, you've got an A race in November, but all these milestones that you're hitting, and then all the little things that you're doing, building camaraderie, and you're inspiring people, and you know, you're on TikTok and all that. That, you know, that's more important, I think, than actually running the actual race.
I want people to know that, you know, and it doesn't matter what it is. For us, it's running, but I think just doing the hard things, you know, sometimes to really, to push yourself beyond what you think you could ever do is just something in itself. There's something about crossing that finish line of whatever that goal is. It could be your first 5K or your first 10K. Your first half marathon, Daniel.
Yay!
Boom.
Yeah. Or, you know. But,
Daniel, I know somebody that likes to give codes out for discounts to their race.
Well,
I do.
we're going to talk about the Run the Rainbow
do.
because I'm probably going to sign up for that, and I'll probably put Daniel on it.
I think we should.
So, and
I have a code for that.
I've got a client that day. You know, sorry.
We have virtual.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to get inspired about, and just doing little things. You're making yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Also, too, we're getting older.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you're a grandmother. Or your
I'm a
grandmother.
grandmother.
Your grandmother as well.
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s, and some people kind of have the attitude, well, you need to start being careful and stuff like that, and I get it. I mean, I went and got my shingle shot. Okay, I did that. I mean, I'm doing the obvious things, but I don't think for us, we don't need to shut it down.
No.
You
I
know?
think when you do that, that's when you do start having complications or whatever. Like, I want to be healthy, and, you know, I want to do the things that are going to make it hard. I want to be 80 and still out there doing the crazy stuff. You know, Deanna tell a story about when she first started doing 5Ks. And let me just tell you, when she's in peak performance, race walking, she is incredible. And I have to run to catch up with her. And I'm not even exaggerating. And, you know, she talks about one of the greatest moments was one of the ladies that was in the race walking community at that time was 80.
She was 74.
Yeah. And she said one of her greatest accomplishments was when she finally was able to pass her. So I want to be one of those where people are like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't, you know, you're not going to be able to get past this person just in that age category. Or we had, oh my gosh, what is Mr. Lackey's name? First name, Hillard Lackey. I hope if I'm saying that wrong and he's listening, I apologize. But he did the marathon with us last year, and he got I think like a state record with his number or whatever he did. He was one of the oldest one. He was 80.
He's 80.
And like
80, he was in the 80 plus age group. I don't exactly know how
and
old
doing
Dr.
the full,
Lackey
I mean,
is.
it was just such a huge like accomplishment, you know. And he was so proud, and we were so proud of him. But I want to be doing that when I'm that age. And
well, it's
celebrating
not just
it.
that too,
Yeah.
but we don't know how much time we have left.
Amen.
So about 2 hours ago,
Yeah.
a friend of mine that I grew up with, went to junior high and high school with, they just found him dead.
Aw.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you don't, you know, we don't know.
We don't.
We don't. And so
Yeah.
it's like, what do we want to do?
Right.
I mean, do we want to just coast, or do
No.
we want to just kind of continue living?
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing is you're living.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why you're here,
Yeah.
because you're living. You're not just settling.
Mhm.
You're pushing yourself. You're pushing yourself. You know,
Mhm.
that's what we're doing.
Right.
And that's what people need to do. We
I
don't
think
need to
so.
just coast.
Dr. Hillary Lackey.
Yay. That's
his
it.
name.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mike.
So another example of, I guess, events is the Run the Rainbow.
Run the Rainbow for Children.
So
Yes.
you work, what do you do at
So I'm one of the directors in the Department of Pediatrics. So I like to tell people I'm not clinical. I play with numbers. That's what I like to say. But
so you're the one that sends the bills out.
well, not exactly.
No.
But so we have a chair of pediatrics, Dr. Mary Taylor, who's amazing, by the way. And so we work with her very closely with all of our chiefs that are over all of our divisions.
Mm-hmm.
And so we make sure that they have whatever they need to be
Okay.
successful. And then, and so we, you know, obviously we do the budgets and stuff, but it's so much more than that, you know, but that's what we do. And I've been, it'll be 15 years in October that I've been, with UMC as a whole. And then I've been in children's leadership for, I guess, I don't even know, 7 years, maybe 7 years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Love it. We just have a great, you know, it's one thing to love what you do, but to do it for something that matters. And I may not be the one in there taking care of the babies,
Yeah.
but I'm making sure that they have what they need to take care of the babies. And that's what matters.
So what was the genesis of the race?
So-
How did this start?
Well, so it used to be a 5K, and they would do it the same day as the parade.
So was that the St. Patty's Day 5K
was. It
that
was.
the Mississippi Track Club ran for years? Was that it?
Well, Children's
Sort of.
did it. I don't know if the
think
track club was
did
involved,
it,
but
though.
Children's did it.
Yeah.
And
Was it a fundraiser for children?
it was. And then, but I don't think people really knew, like, I don't know if people really knew all of it was real connected, you know?
Yeah.
And so then during COVID, you know, all that. And so they hadn't raced. And so I had at least 10 years, I was like, man, I really want to do something bigger. And so I went to our team and I was like, hey, I really want to do all the way up to a half at least.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you want to take this one? I was like, yes, I do. So then at the time, Malcolm was still the owner of Hallamals.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, right when all that, we were getting everything together is when the Cavicis bought Hallamals. And so now we all work together on it, but they're amazing. And so I got together with him. I was like, this is my vision, but I cannot do it the same day of the race. Can't. And there's no way to pull all that off. And so he was like, how about let's make it the party before the party? And so now it's turned into a whole week of festivities. And so that's how it started. I knew I always wanted to get to a marathon as well. But you know, I'm real OCD when it comes to stuff like this. I drive people insane. And so I wanted it as perfect as it could be. So the first year we did a 5K, 10K half to make sure like we had our bearings.
And that was in 21. Is that correct?
Well, this would be, well, no, it had to be, well, this would be 26. Next year would be 26.
So 22 or 20.
Yeah,
22.
Okay, I had to think for a minute. I can't do, I'm like, wait.
We do runner's math. Mom.
Yeah, right. I'm like, wait. And so we knew we were on the right track and we were doing things well. And so the next year we added the full and then just went from there. And it's been amazing. And, you know, I want to be known as the race that I don't care what distance you want to do. If you want to do it and you need all the time in the world, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you to the finish line.
So the race, Run the Rainbow.
Yeah.
It's a fundraiser for
children's.
For the
100%.
children's. And it takes place the weekend before the St. Patty's Day parade.
Right.
Yes.
And the launching point is at Larry Batson.
No.
Wait.
No, we actually start and finish at Howlin' Mouse, but you do run through.
Did it one time start there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They did used to have one on campus though, but that was a different race.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
No,
that was like a Jingle Bell jog or something like that, wasn't it?
Maybe
There was
I don't,
one.
I never.
It was
did
a long
so
time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so it starts and finishes at Howlin' Mouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And every distance but the 5K will go through the
Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You'll make it there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is a rumor that there may be an ultra.
Oh my God.
I'm working on it.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
Well, I'm sure you'll have some people sign up for that.
I know.
So this will be year 4.
Yeah.
I've heard this race has gotten big.
It's huge.
Like, how many people do you have in it?
So last year.
I mean, I really heard it was real big.
It was really amazing. So last year we have, I'm doing this off the top of my head, forgive me, but I think we had like 1535 signed up all across the board. Now, it was the first time we had to use our emergency plan because last year we had that terrible weather come through. And so I had to make a call what we were going to do. And so that Thursday, finally, I made the call to shift the race to Sunday. I didn't have a choice.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I apologize I haven't run it.
No, it's all right. We're going to get you there.
Yeah, okay.
And and so I shifted very quickly because I had a lot of people coming from out of town, just all these different things. And it's a lot. I mean, and so I think race day, we ended up having a little over 900 that day. I could be wrong, but I think that's right.
Yeah. Our numbers, it was so weird. Like we probably only had 900 show up, but we had as many people who couldn't come.
Yeah.
That opened up because they couldn't do it on a Saturday. More people signed up because it's Sunday. It was the strangest.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Wonderful, amazing thing
it was great.
that's ever happened.
Yeah. But I gave people options.
Yeah.
So
they could defer. So a lot of them, the ones that couldn't make it, deferred to next year, or they signed up and did the virtual.
They did a lot. We sent a lot of virtual packages.
We did. So I gave options like switch to Sunday. Yeah. You could run it virtual, or you could defer to next year. Because my heartbeat is for the runners. And I want you to get the full effect.
Daughter-in-law.
Aw, I know you will be. That's my daughter-in-law, Anna Claire. Love you. She's going to bring my grandbaby with her.
So you have, at this race, you have a 5K.
Yep.
What other distance?
10K.
10K.
Half. Full. Kids fun run. And we're going to add an ultra, hopefully.
The 1 mile fun run.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a mile.
It's
like literally a fun run.
I got it.
Like literally go up, come back. Okay. And
so what's the breakdown with the participants? Like how many?
You're gonna make me lie.
You don't know. It doesn't have to be exact.
I don't really remember. I'd have to look.
The Crandalls are watching.
The
they do our
Crandalls
time
might be able
at
to
MS
speak.
Race Time.
Well, that was another question.
Yeah,
so
they're the bomb. Yeah.
So Hal Sistrunk's friend of mine and his girlfriend Jen works at Blair Batson, and he's raved about the race.
Yeah,
I think he ran the half.
Yeah.
And they just talked about how great it was and everything. So are you actually the race director?
Yeah. I drive people crazy.
100%.
God bless you.
I drive people insane.
God bless
So you haven't
me.
just passed that off to somebody.
No. No,
So not only are you race directing a pretty major event, you're also training for a 100-miler.
I will say, though. I
mean, that's a lot.
I will say, though, that because of the personality I have, she's laughing, we have really done a great job. The whole group of people that helped me have done such a great job. If it would not have been for the weather last year and us having to shift so fast, like we were at the point one day we're like, are we forgetting to do something? Because we have streamlined everything so much and just worked really hard every year to immediately meet and say, what did we do wrong? What did we do right?
That's like within the first 3 weeks, maybe we have a meeting with, I want to say like a core group.
Yeah.
Like our lead biker. He'll be there. The timing people's there.
Yeah.
We'll ask a couple of people who did the race to come. And we're like, what did we do right? What did we do wrong?
Yeah.
Or not necessarily wrong. What could we do
what would do better? Yeah.
And I mean, and we immediately start working.
So my first marathon was the Memphis Marathon.
St. Jude.
Long time ago. And that was before it was really St. It was fundraiser for St. It was almost in the infant stages that you guys are in.
Yeah.
And you see how that's gone.
I know. And that
so I don't know. Have you had thoughts?
Yeah, for sure.
It could possibly.
That's my dream.
You know.
That's my dream. And I love St. Jude. They do an amazing thing. I try to say we're the only children's hospital in the state of Mississippi. We are it.
Yes.
And we do everything. And I'm not saying they do an amazing job taking care of the babies that they do.
Yes.
But we do it all, right?
Sure.
Every specialty you need, we have it. And we have to cover the entire state. And so that is where my passion is, because I really want, I want it to the point where, I've already asked them, at Hallamals, I'm like, how many people can we hold before I have to think about what's next, and because that matters to me. The little things matter, that people experience, that it's a true experience from beginning to end. We do a lot of stuff we probably don't have to do. We do a lot of signs and decorations on the course. I have multiple, last year I had 5 bands, all along the course.
So it's a half marathon course. Do you double loop it?
No.
So we're doing
loops.
a full.
No double loops.
Right.
I can't stand double loops.
All right. I'm with you there.
Mike Crandall, he loved me for that. Let me just tell you. He was like, don't you want to do a double loop?
He would make his job easier.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily his job. It wouldn't make a difference,
because
would
he puts out my water stops for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing it.
They do our water stops. They do some of our
So it's a full
mile markers.
Yeah. Yes.
Where are you running? Where you got them running?
Yeah. So you'll go through Belhaven.
Yeah.
And then you'll hit, you go through Woodland Hills.
That's where I grew up.
Yeah. Leftover, Eastover. Now, you do double back some of that a little bit.
Sure.
But, Eastover is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
Woodland Hills, gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
It's all so beautiful.
The original blues course was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you don't really realize you're coming back because you still hit some other streets. And the way it curves and it's so gorgeous that you don't really realize you're doing some of that again. And then when you come back, you hit Lakeland Drive and you go down on Museum Boulevard. And then when you come back and go through campus, so you'll hit the Children's Hospital twice, which is amazing. And then when you cross over and get back into Belhaven, you'll end up on the museum trails. On Laurel, at the end of Laurel.
Yep.
You'll go down there and then hit that. And then you hit that beautiful hill on Spengler at like a mile 23.
What's the date?
March 21st. It's always the third Saturday in March.
Okay.
So next year it'll be March 21st.
Is that our date or is that
That's us.
That's not the parade
It's us,
date.
I promise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll sign up for it. I'll do it. For sure.
You don't have a choice now.
Yeah.
I just said it.
I'll do it. Do you have any kind of like training programs? Have you collaborated with anybody?
So, you know what we do actually? So Fleet Feet always does a training program. And that's really fun. And then we actually go out It's usually it's always on Mississippi 50 weekend usually, so 2 weeks before.
Is it that same weekend?
Always the like to do the Fleet Feet training run is usually on the course that day. I know, but they'll do that, and then if you're wanting, now they do not go all the way up to the full.
Okay.
At Fleet Feet. I mean, not that they wouldn't work with you, I'm sure, but then Run Strong will do one as well, but they'll go all the way to the full. And then we always, we partner with all of them. And then Grit Training is where we always do our packet pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a great place if you need to go do any additional training or whatever. So we have had such great partnerships. And, Continental Tire is our title sponsor.
Okay.
And they are so amazing. So
are they still the sponsor for the other?
No.
They're not. Okay.
Stole them.
Are they still doing the blues? You can't comment. I can.
I mean, I assume they changed all their stuff last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for having more races.
me too.
Whatever.
Me too.
They
I
had
mean,
a race this year.
I will say, I think the area is definitely yearning for a good, solid marathon.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, if there's two of them, that's even better.
Yeah.
But
for
you guys,
sure.
there's an opportunity for you guys definitely to gain following.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's plenty of room for all races out there. And, one of the things that if you are a race director and you treat my runners well and you're good to them and you have a safe course and you provide all the things that they need out there. We had 4 or 5 race directors at Run the Rainbow Expo because I want you there.
Sure.
I want you there. I want us all, like, that's amazing, to have everybody come together and just have this amazing camaraderie and share. But my runners matter to me a lot. And so I have more police than I need, more water stops than I need. There's going to be more goose, candy, whatever you need out on that water table than you could ever imagine, because it matters.
Unwrap the buckles would probably, or not the buckles, but the medals would be a good idea.
They're unwrapped.
I showed up one year.
Oh yeah,
I still have mine in the wrapper.
No, ours are unwrapped.
Okay, never. That's a joke that me and somebody else have.
That's so funny.
So is it the week before is it the week before the MS50? When is the marathon?
No, we're after.
You're after.
MS50 is like 2 weeks before mine.
Of March.
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's always.
I think I'm doing
it's
doing
a couple
that race
weeks
this
before.
year.
I want to. I hate I've missed it because I know it's such a great race, but we always go out there and Fleet Feet does their training run that day on the course.
Yeah.
To let people just see it and what they say.
Fireball.
Do you need more fireball on the course?
Oh my God! There's always.
Yeah.
The green beans make sure that people are well
Well,
covered.
I definitely want to bring you back.
Yeah, love to.
Before the race.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll also, I guess, we'll recap your race.
I love
The
it.
100-miler.
Let's do it. It's going to be fun.
It just shows that you can't have excuses.
No.
People come up with excuses. Well, I can't do that. I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old.
Yeah. Too busy,
with
whatever,
work and all that. So clearly, you just kind of
Priorities.
slap that around.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity.
Yes.
People can do it. Just get out there and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, keep posting on TikTok.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
it's
might have
fun.
gained 1 or 2 more followers after this.
Oh,
We
I
joke
hope
about
so.
that.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just, I want people, and I've had several people come up to me and say it's so inspiring. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
It really, if that one person just needed to hear that, today, that, you got this, and the little tips and tricks,
Mhm.
I'm a sweater, I need lots of fluid and not just water. And I fuss at people all the time. Don't drink just water. It's not enough.
We'll recap your race, and then we'll preview the Run the Rainbow, and then we'll start talking about Deanna's 100-miler.
I love it. I think that's
We'll
a
do
great
that.
idea.
Y'all find me one with 7 days. to finish. You like your sister just then, but yeah, just then I'm there for it.
7 days.
Yeah.
Just like, she did send me a message the other day and said, "You do know there's a half marathon in Key West."
Yeah. I think I sent it to you like
The Keys 100. Helen and
Yeah.
them did that. That's hot.
if I signed up for the Key West half marathon, she'd
That would be fun.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah. It doesn't take much to twist my arm to sign up for something.
Well, ladies, I don't know how long we've been talking.
We've been talking for a
We've
while.
been here about an hour. So,
Yeah.
and very inspiring. I think what you guys have is very
Yeah.
special. That just makes the
Yeah, for
running
sure.
community is what it is.
Yeah.
There's millions of people out there just like y'all that you
Yeah.
know, the friendships that you form.
Oh,
and,
man, yeah.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, you can talk about anything with your running people.
Mm-hmm.
There's no conversation off topic.
And the Run the Rainbow is
Yeah.
great
Yeah, it's
for
fun.
great for the Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
great
for Jackson.
Jackson.
Man, you see the
We need it.
best.
Need all the help we can get.
Right. It's
Tell you what.
beautiful, though. It just shows it's the showcase of some of the most beautiful sights you can see. And it's hilly, though. I tell people it's.
Yeah, I paced
No.
the Blues.
No.
I tell
She
everybody
doesn't
it's
tell
flat.
people. She tells it's flat.
I paced the Blues Marathon several times.
Oh, yeah.
And I would always we'd have a lot of 50 staters that would
Oh,
come
yeah.
in from out of
Oh,
town,
yeah.
and I would be giving them guided tours through
Yes.
Bellhaven and
Oh,
through
it's so
Woodland
beautiful.
Hills and
Yeah,
Eastover and all
so
that.
gorgeous. I
So,
love it.
all right, well, cool. I guess we can kind of start wrapping it up. We are now on YouTube. Is that correct, Daniel?
That's
Am I
correct.
on
Cool.
YouTube?
Love
now?
it.
Yeah,
Man,
you're on the
I-
YouTubes.
Tell you
Look at
what,
us.
whoop, whoop. I do have a TikTok account, but I only have 80 followers, and you have to have 10,000 to go live.
We
on
got to get
TikTok.
there, right?
Yeah,
We
good
got to
luck.
get there.
It ain't happening. I'm gonna have to post more than just
We're
this.
gonna have to post more
You should
than
post
just
your
that.
OnlyFans content,
That-
man.
There we
That's
go.
the wrong. That's another podcast.
If you
You
took
have to-
your
yeah,
shoes
yeah.
off a couple of
Right.
times,
Yeah.
and now you can see
Yeah.
it
You have
right
to-
in.
you have
Get
to
the
pay-
feet pics.
You have to pay to watch that live feed.
Hey.
So please follow.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess if you're on YouTube, not everybody's on Facebook. So
How
like and share
dare
this.
them.
Like and share this episode.
Yeah.
Where can they follow you,
Yeah.
Selena?
So I'm on Facebook and I'm on TikTok.
What's your TikTok handle?
Am I supposed to know that? Hang on.
Probably.
Wait. Hold up.
I don't know what it is.
Hold up. I don't know either.
Is it your?
I don't know. It's probably my name.
What's
because
your
I'm
what?
old.
What's your email?
probably-
What's that email story?
Oh, so that was a long time ago, and I just have. We
Her
used to-
email has 30
I
characters.
know.
What
Well,
is your?
so what happened was many years ago, we were reselling some items, and so we had this little handle, always new to you, because it's a secondhand item, but it's new to you. You know?
Always new to you.
Yeah, and so that at gmail.com. That's how it became, and then I just never changed it. But if you look at Run the Rainbow for Children has all my contact information out there. But let's see.
So Run the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys have a website.
Yeah.
I think it's Selena Daniels 7:30.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
Selena Daniels 7:30
Yeah.
on TikTok.
And we're-
7:35.
Yeah.
7:35.
And we're getting ready to open up the race. We haven't yet, but I sent all my, with me being at UMC, I have my marketing people that have to do all their fancy stuff. And so I sent them a message. I was like, let's go ahead. I was hoping to have it open before we came today, but it wasn't. But it'll be open soon. And
Okay.
always watch for August 10th. That's my birthday. I put a big
Codes on there.
I put a huge discount
Do
code
you?
on my birthday. Yes. Every year.
All right.
We
Wow.
I also set us up a YouTube channel, but we don't have anything yet.
But it's coming
But it's coming.
because we're fun.
As soon as one of us can figure out how to work a GoPro.
We're trying.
Oh, that's yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
See, I don't know anything.
We're a comedy
See,
show.
I'm just I had thought about doing a podcast for years.
Yeah.
And batted the idea around, but then all this equipment and all, I didn't know
I
anything.
know. See,
It wasn't
yeah.
until I ran across Daniel, I'm like, yeah, I could just pay him to do it.
Yeah, and then I just come in and look pretty.
exactly.
That's it. I like it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, ladies, seriously, I can't thank y'all enough for
Man,
coming
I'm
in.
excited. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
All right.
Every week we do a song of the week.
I love it.
something that inspires you,
Yeah.
something that you like listening to or whatever.
Yeah.
You had the song of the week.
I had a hard choice, but yeah, this was one of my favorites.
I had to research who Meghan Trainor was.
What?
I don't know
That's surprising
what
to
is
me.
wrong with him?
You know who Meghan?
She's awesome, man.
She's amazing.
I'm not
all
hating
about
on
the
Meghan
bass.
Trainor.
All
I
about
know
the
the one
bass.
all
All
about
about
the
the
bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much. The reason I love her is she is such a positive person.
Mhm.
Body
And-
positive.
Huh?
Very
Would you-
body positive.
Yeah, very body positive and just positive, encourages people. And so that song, I love it because it encourages you, like, just be yourself.
Mhm.
You know, just have a good time.
And the
That's what-
song that you picked was
yeah, it's Dance Like Your Daddy.
Dance.
Listen to the words.
You
it's
sent me that
fantastic.
text, and I was like, "Dance Like Your Daddy," Meghan Trainor. I'm
It's
like, "Who the hell is that?"
fantastic.
And Brooke was like, "You don't know who Meghan Trainor is?" But look, I do not judge. I think it's great. Whatever
Yeah.
people want. If you saw my
love it.
playlist, you'd like look at me kind of weird
Well,
because I'm all over the damn
place. Me too.
Well, I'm a Swiftie and I love hardcore music. So
Me too. I had to play like 3 songs for him. I'm like, which one do you think? Because I have, and all 3 songs were like completely
So the
different
song
genres.
again
Yeah.
is
Dance Like Your Daddy.
"Dance Like Your Daddy" by
Meghan
Meghan
Trainor.
Trainor.
Because she rocks.
She does, and
She
so
does.
do you, and so do you. So,
Thank you.
ladies, seriously, thank y'all so much. Follow Selena on TikTok.
Yeah.
And like and share this episode. And we'll see you guys again in a couple weeks.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you, ladies.
Dance like your daddy. Dance like your daddy. Try not to dance to the. Been working way too much. I need a day off. Damn, this beat go hard. And all I wanna do. That's all I wanna do. Don't worry about the way you look. There ain't nobody judging you. No, no, no. I want you to dance like your daddy. Dance like your daddy. Come on and move like your mama. You know you wanna go dance like your daddy. And if you care what they think, then you can't have no fun. So come on, let's go. Push down that flow and shoulder roll, shoulder roll. I said push down that flow and shoulder roll, shoulder roll. Now hitch to the left and hitch to the right. Can you overbite? Can you old man overbite? Simon says go touch your nose, but Megan says touch your toes. I can't touch my toes. My daddy taught me how to do my own thing. He said to let it out, long as you find your groove. Go ahead and find your groove. Make sure you stand out in the crowd and show them all what you can do. Yeah, I want you to dance like your daddy. Dance like your daddy. Come on and move like your mama. You know you wanna go dance like your daddy. And if you care what they think, then you can't have no fun. So come on, let's go. Push down that flow and shoulder roll, shoulder roll. I said push down that flow and shoulder roll, shoulder roll. Now hitch